A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon deep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies. Let's take this guy. The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
An empty plastic bottle would give you 50 cents. A soda can, 60 cents. A used food container, 80. Wondering why I know this? Because that's my job. I am a trash picker at my school.
Harry, the trash prince is on a roll today. And how is your trashy affair with Bella coming? She lets you kiss her with that stink?
Their words don't bother me. They don't know why I do what I do. And my secret. I edge close to my class when I hear Bella and her friend talking.
You can't be serious, Bella. You want me to break up with him for you?
I would do it myself if his poverty didn't give me the creeps.
You are unbelievable.
I come face to face with Bella's friend. She knew I heard the conversation and couldn't meet my eyes. She hands me the new phone I bought for Bella and walks away. I saved for months to buy her this phone. I walk down the empty corridor with a heavy heart, pick the phone out of the box, slip my SIM in, and switch it on. When... Harry Parker, you have passed the poverty test? You are now the heir to Parker family's billions worth of assets?
If Harry is a billionaire, why does he work as a trash picker? What is his big secret? Why did he not reveal his billionaire status to Bella? To know more, listen to the audio series Destiny Reloaded, only on Pocket FM.
Presentation. Welcome back here to Turn 200's coverage of the Mission R Challenge Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast. We are rolling it back into upstate New York, into New York's version of wine country. This time it's a return trip to Watkins, Glen, but we're bringing out the boot this time for a little boot scooting and boogieing with some of the electric cars here on iRacing. How about it? It's Tommy Cook. It's Matt Williamson. We're ready to get down at one of the tracks that brought us one of our favorite moments of 2023, last time we were here with the Mission R.
Yeah, it was the first race of the first season that we broadcasted here on Turn 200, and it was an absolute banger. A solid performance from a lot of drivers, most notably Olivia Hayward, coming out with the victory with a very, very bold move on the last lap of the race. Of course, there's a little wrinkle this time. We're throwing the boot in there, which is always fun. I think those corners for this particular car in the boot could be pretty troublesome.
Well, thank you to everybody that's hanging out with us here early. We've got a quick promo to hit. If you're enjoying the racing here with the Porsche Mission R, we've got some more of it, and not on a Sunday this time. Next Saturday night, we have got this lovely event to showcase for you, Matt. So tell the folks all about it.
Yeah, so this is going to be the Mission R Clash at the Coliseum. Those of you that might not know, NASCAR is doing a demo of its all-electric vehicle. I believe that's next weekend at the Clash. And so the PMR group decided to put together a little event to have their all-electric demo at the Clash at the Coliseum as well. So there's prize money involved. It's a free entry Saturday night. It's got to be broadcasted right here on Turn 200. And that should be a very, very fun event. I'm hoping to see a lot of folks come out for that one.
I think the intrigue around this one is already starting to build up pretty significantly. So should be a big event next Saturday night. If you want to be a part of it, come join our Discord server. We'll get you pointed in the right direction for registration and keeping up with all the exciting race formats and all the things to come here over the course of the next 6 days ahead of the big event. Thank you to Dylan Thomas and everybody with the VRTL Alliance team for getting this one set up and letting us be a part of it. It's going to be a blast. Quickly, we got about 50 seconds here. Why don't we roll through the point standings heading into today's event?
Yep, we're going to go to the point standings here, and J.J. Wang had a tough couple of weeks, has been well documented, but has rebounded very nicely throughout the middle of the season. He's in first place with 641 points. Ella Spice sits there in second. Olivia Hayward, Jamie Himmel-Smith, Sam Wiggy ran out that top five. You'll notice Thortola, all the way down to 8th, has missed at least 2 weeks, maybe 3. I can't exactly remember, but Thor is back here today, so looking for a good showing from Thor. And there's the rest of the top 10.
About 10 seconds left. Thanks for hanging out with us. We already got Jeff in the chat saying let's have a good race. Indeed, you cannot go wrong here one way or another. You're either going to have a good race or you're going to have a memorable demolition derby when you roll into Watkins Glen here with a heavy car like this. And some heavy metal drivers at that. Olivia Hayward, we mentioned, won here last season at the regular Watkins Glen layout. Also won the Thursday top split strength of field race here at the boot layout. So Olivia Hayward will take the pole and look at to lead all 11 laps again here today. J.J. Wang, the reigning series champion, lines up on the outside of the front row. Luis Emerson starting in third. Indica Scarlett P4 starting effort. Sam Wiggy in fifth. Piers Berry 6th. James Watson and Gary Weaver right now on row number 4. Gerard Boldu. Ella Spice, the top 10 starters. Thortola, Lane Doyle, Amy Grimmy, Christian Escaras starting at 14th. Douglas Colley and Rebecca David, the top 8 rows. Then it is Adrian Johansson back in the field, John Schneebel, Michelle Cook, no relation to me, starting at 19th, Rashid Coles and Logan Hartman, the 21 starters here today at the Glen. Matt, track conditions.
Looking at a pretty cool track. You can see the sun's kind of going down. Few clouds in the sky. Only 78 degrees on the track temperature, so should be good for these drivers here at Watkins Glen. We're looking at about 11 laps here with the boot layout.
Waiting to see everybody take the grid here. We didn't see everybody hit the grid last week. Led to some comers and goers throughout the afternoon. The starting grid is almost just about set here. As 21 drivers getting ready to take to 3.45 miles here at the Glen. 12 turns with the boot layout. Last featured here in the Toys for Tots charity race with the ASRL. We all know how that one went. We'll see if we're in for the same kind of magic here today as the lights come on. And the green flag is dropping. We're underway. Hayward with the lead. Into the 90 right, into 1, but J.J. Wang trying to sneak in on the outside here. Big run for Wang as we head to the S section. J.J. Wang getting his elbows. Sam Wiggy with problems. That is a huge stack up here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. Schneebel involved.
Thortola's in there as well. Disappointing return on Sunday for him, but J.J. Wang, a power move around the outside through the S's down into the boot.
Well, we'll definitely have something to look at here at the conclusion of the first lap, but right now, J.J. Wang with a brilliant move early in the going. Hayward back to second, Luis Emerson in third, Scarlett and Barry the top 5.
That's about the worst possible place for something like that to happen. It gets very narrow there through the S's when you're headed up towards the bus stop, and we saw what can happen right there. I mean, it's tight. Everybody's bouncing off the guardrails, and there's just nowhere to go.
Headed now through the final turn to put lap number 1 in the books. JJ Wang, not quite a comfortable lead here. We saw Hayward close the gap from about this distance last season, but Wang leading nonetheless.
Yeah, Hayward certainly still right there. A little bit of help down that front straight down into turn 1 as well. Oh, here comes Pierce Berry, has caught Indica Scarlet, and now looks to the outside. Tough place to make a pass through the bus stop, but makes it happen.
Big power move there for Berry to now move up to 4th and put Scarlet back to 5th.
James Watson right there in 6th as well.
So Amy, Grimmy, and Thortola, after the initial accident, have had meatball flags and had them cleared on pit road, so they are cleared to rejoin the action. Meanwhile, Olivia Hayward, as we mentioned, with some of the big long straightaways here at this layout. The draft very much in effect throughout this race at this circuit. Hayward is pulled right back up to JJ Wang for the top spot.
And unfortunately for Sam Wiggy, he has not come back out and probably is out of this one. Here's a look inside the cockpit of Hayward. Making their way through the final corner. Reminder for those that have forgotten, no pit stops here. And there is an incident limit. Not sure it'll be a problem here, though.
I think the ones that were in danger of it are probably already out of the race. Dueling purple laps last time around for Wang and Hayward. But it's Hayward who takes the top time. And hanging right in here with the reigning series champion, the current points leader, JJ Wang. Man, they both use a lot of curbing there into the bus stop. Aggressive. And you kind of have to be, but we've seen it bite drivers even here at Watkins Glen in our only trip here. I believe the leader, I don't even remember who it was at this point, but they got up on the curbing there and got themselves out of contention for the race.
Farther back, battle for 5th. We saw Pierce Berry get through Indica Scarlet, Now James Watson in 6th, starting to knock on that door. And Gary Weaver not too far behind Watson as well. Weaver's fallen back a tad here, but saw Weaver right behind Watson just a lap ago.
Have we taken a look at the lap 1 accident yet?
No, we haven't, but now is probably maybe a good time to do so. Looks like Hayward might try to have a go at it here down the front stretch. We'll let him get down into turn 1 and see.
Hey, we're definitely closing the gap here. If Olivia can stay close enough through the S's, might have a shot to take it at the bus stop.
And we've seen Hayward make that difficult move on the outside into the bus stop before. That's what got her the win last season.
I think the big run is coming. JJ has had a couple of different lines through the S's. But can you make this move stick without putting yourselves in danger? JJ right into the inside guardrail there, just inches from it. And a defensive master class there from the race leader.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the lap 1 incident. Not exactly sure who it starts with.
I think Sam Wiggy was the first one I saw go around.
And I believe you are right. It looks like there was contact with somebody here. Oh, yeah, big move from that blue car. Sends Wiggy sideways right in the middle of the track. A bunch of folks actually get through somewhat cleanly, but then there's contact. Again, that's Tola that gets punted into the outside guardrail. See folks going through the grass, trying to avoid incident. There's a 13 of Grimmy that got into the guardrail as well. Oh, and then just piling in here, a couple more. That's just about the worst place for that to happen, and unfortunately, it did right there. All right, Tommy. Luis Emerton starting to catch Hayward here. Hayward still hasn't lost J.J. Wang, but Emerton putting in some good laps.
Yeah, when Hayward was trying to make the advance on J.J. for the lead, Emerton was about a second and a quarter behind. But Hayward has faded a bit, and Emerton is stuck to it, and he has caught Hayward. And also Piersbury, a little bit out of draft range, but not out of the question that Pierce could make a bid here for the podium positions.
Wow, and you see Emerton there into the bus stop. Looked like almost all 4 wheels got off the ground at one point. That you got to be careful not to turn the wheel too much when you go over those little turtles. Oh, and here comes James Watson.
Scarlett fighting back.
Oh, boy. Both of them put the power down heavy. Both of them got sideways into the boot. Scarlett able to hang on to that position for right now.
Emerton just had a big send there, using quite a bit of the runoff. Going to lose a little bit of time as Hayward inching back towards the race leader. The winning move for Hayward did not come until the final lap here last season. But on Thursday, Hayward led every lap. So a bit of a different position that Olivia Hayward finds herself in at this moment in time. Approaching the halfway mark of this race. 45 seconds to go until we get the cross flags at the stripe.
You mentioned last season's race. Couldn't remember who was up at the front of the field. I believe it was Timothy Reed.
Yes.
And Reed not here today. Has been pretty absent this last season.
I think it's made a Thursday start a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't think we've seen him here on a Sunday since the Roval, the season finale of last season. And I think Maxime Grenna, now that I'm thinking about it, was the race leader for a couple of circuits in that race and was the one that clipped the rumble strip a little bit too hard and went for a little spin.
Yes, I believe you are right. Hayward starting to catch back up to Wang here. And we often talk about tire management and it's heat management for this car. So JJ maybe pushed it for a couple of laps and now suffering a bit, trying to get those tires cooled down again, but Hayward is on the advance. Might have another good look down into turn 1 and then through the S's again. That's where Hayward's been really strong, getting that run to the bus stop.
Only other battle inside the top 10 is still Indica Scarlett trying to fend off James Watson to stay in the top 5. But always nice when your best battle on the track could be for the top spot.
Saw JJ kind of protect the inside through the S's. Hayward takes the line to get a little better run into that first one. Nothing doing that time. Watson continues to try and get around Scarlett. And now looking at the battle, I believe it was Indica Scarlett that made that initial contact with Sam Wiggy.
Yes, indeed it was. And Wiggy, to point out, is the only retiree from this race as a result of that accident.
Which is kind of unbelievable. There were a lot of hard hits there.
Yes. A few meatball flags, but everybody is back out on the track and still on the lead lap. At least for now. Hayward still hanging within half a second of the race leader, J.J. Wang, who's led them all this far after a great pass on the outside into the first turn.
Now Gerard Boldew's gotten into the mix here in the top 10, sitting in 8th right now. Pulled right up to Gary Weaver there in 7th. Here's Hayward looking for this run out of the S's again.
This is a good run. JJ knows it. He's up to defend. Hayward like a heat-seeking missile, finding the opening. Wayne gonna shut the door. Good runs, but not quite good enough, not quite big enough. At least not yet. 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go. You talk about tire management and temperature control. Hayward knows she has limited opportunities to make this pass. How long can you sit and wait for another push?
Watson looking for a pass into the toe of the boot. Needs to get the power down to have this inside positioning. Isn't going to get it. I take another stab at it here. Not close enough.
Try and force a mistake. That's an easy apex to miss there. Into the heel. So is this one. The Achilles? Question mark? I don't know. Puts back onto the backstretch.
And onto the ankle.
And onto the ankle. Hayward again, within just a car length here. Hayward's so strong through this opening sector of the circuit.
Let's go on board where Hayward is so good through this section, as you mentioned.
And if things go bottom, oh boy, that was a lot of curb there, but still has the big run.
Sounded like it was almost contact with the guardrail as well.
Not quite close enough,
Huge
but Hayward
send.
still sends it.
Hayward hugging the curbing so tightly, nearly into the grass in some places. Watson going to look for it again. Has a good run. Crosses over to the inside and the toe once more. And now Boldew and Weaver are side by side as well.
Luis Emerton is back in the mix here as well, up in the top 3. He is closed in rather quickly on Olivia Hayward.
And Boldew is able to make that pass on Weaver. Boldu up to 7th.
3 minutes 40 left to go in this one. Here, week number 7, the Sunday Top Split Strength of Field for the Mission Art Challenge. Wang has led them all thus far, but has been under fire all race long from Olivia Hayward. And if things go bottoms up for those two, Louise Emerson is right here to capitalize. This is where the big runs are coming from. The juice is squeezed right here through the S's and down the long straight.
And if Hayward and Wang continue to battle hard like they have been, Emerton's going to be able to close right up to the back of him. Oh, through the grass a bit there for Emerton. The problem is very difficult to make passes here, so even if Emerton's able to get a huge run, will likely be almost nowhere to go with it.
If we cross the line with 1 minute and 51 seconds or more on the clock, we're going to have 2 to go. Problems for Piers Berry in 4th. Berry has a meatball flag.
Oh, and not really sure what happened there. Don't have any sort of incident saying that there was an off track or anything.
No.
But the fight in front of him continues on. Still a 3-horse race here. And it's going to be awfully close.
As is tradition, we're going to be within 2 seconds of either coming to the checkers or coming to the white.
Well, this is lap 11. That's what we estimated. But if Wang can push it just maybe one couple tenths of a second faster, will likely be going to lap 12.
And unfortunately for him, he doesn't have a choice. If he gives up that time, Hayward is here to capitalize.
No, last week at VIR, he could have had the opportunity to slow down and just let the time expire and take the checkered instead of the white, but no such luxury here today.
Hayward wide here. Unfortunately for Piers Berry, hitting pit road with the meatball flag. That's going to move James Watson into the top 5. It'll move Scarlett up to 4th.
Those two still battling hard. Watson's going to look to the inside and the toe again. Watson loves this move. And might be able to make it stick this time in a big run from the outside from Scarlett.
We are out of the boot section. Wang with some separation to Hayward. And Watson will finally make that pass.
Scarlett was wide through the heel, so Watson made that pass stick as well.
JJ Wang, 2 seconds to go. I'd say we're on for another.
Yep, white flag is waving here.
So that was a good penultimate lap for Wang. Unfortunately, he's got to execute one more time.
And now all of a sudden back here from 4th down to 8th. It's a big group. Watson got through on Scarlett. Now Boldu is right behind Scarlett along with Weaver. Escariz and Ella Spice is back there as well. Oh, contact between Boldu and Scarlett.
Oh, Hayward has gone for a spin. Olivia Hayward around from 2nd. A big gap to slot into here in 3rd. Will not be in danger of losing the podium. But Hayward closing in on Wang, locked up the rears, and that was all she wrote. Louise Emerton will move into 2nd, but JJ Wang not under any sort of threat.
Scarlet and Boldu able to hang on to their positions as well.
The final 2 turns for the points leader, JJ Wang. 4 wins in the last 5 races for the reigning series champion. It's JJ Wang to the top spot of the podium here at Watkins Glen. Luis Emerton and Olivia Hayward, the podium finishers, and a mess from 4th on back.
Wow, Watkins Glen producing a couple of wild last couple of laps yet again. But it is JJ Wang able to hang on. He took no time to take that lead. A very aggressive move to start the race. And that was the move that ultimately ended with the win.
You mentioned Thortola back in the field here today. Was the points leader at 1 point this season. Going to be a disappointing P15 for him as he crosses the line. He was, of course, caught up in that turn 3 accident. And others still hitting the line as well.
Here's the incident for Olivia Hayward as we were coming down into the boot. Oh, looked like maybe dipped a tire off into the grass and then was carrying maybe a bit too much speed. Couldn't quite get it slowed down in time. Went for a slide right into the outside barrier.
Luckily had 13 seconds back to the battle for 4th with James Watson, so plenty of time to slap back into line. Hayward will finish in 3rd behind Emerson and Wang. As the results are now official, we'll go ahead and give you the full finishing rundown here. We'll hopefully talk to our podium finishers momentarily. Usually JJ and Olivia are up for it. I don't know if Emerson is in the Discord server or not, but hopefully we'll hear from him. James Watson and Indica Scarlet, a spirited battle here this afternoon. They finished 4th and 5th. Gerard Boldu, P6 for him. Christian Iscar is in 7th. Gary Weaver in 8th. Ella Spice, Lane Doyle, the top 10. Adrian Johansson in 11th. Rebecca David in 12th. Amy Grimmy in 13th. Michelle Cook and Thortola, 14th and 15th. John Schneebel in 16th. 17th for Douglas Colley. And man, that's a heart-wrenching P18 for Piers Berry. After spending that whole race in the top 5 here this afternoon, a late meatball flag puts Piers out of contention. Rashid Coles, Logan Hartman, and Sam Wiggy, the rest of the finishers here. And I'm going to pull in our 3rd place finisher, Olivia Hayward. Always forget about the cheese sound effect, so we'll see if Olivia still got it in as we bring her in for a podium interview.
WeatherTech Sports Car Championship.
Oh, we mixed it up this week. There we go. But always love it. Always love getting to talk to Olivia Hayward on the podium here on a Sunday afternoon for us. Good evening to you, and nice job on the podium here today.
Thank you. I wish you'd broadcasted Thursday. That one went better for me.
I was going to say, that one statistically looked pretty impressive on Thursday, but, I mean, a P3 finish, whether you finished 1 through 3 here this afternoon, I mean, it was an incredible drive and a great battle between you and JJ all race long. You two were getting after it.
Yeah, I mean, JJ really surprised me today. Like, he was really struggling on Thursday. He admitted that, but yeah, coming in today, it seemed like he put in a lot of work to close that gap. The qualifying battle, as usual, is ridiculous, and just I was braver than me in turn 1. I saw him cut to my inside, like cut behind me on the start, so I thought he was going to try and make the inside move. I decided to part the apex, and suddenly he's around the outside and ahead of me into the S's. So from there, I was just trying to pressure as much as I could. I didn't know how much sort of experience he'd gotten since Thursday, especially running sort of in traffic. So I was just trying to make my car as big as possible in the mirror, go for looks wherever I could, even if I wasn't going to go for them. Just try and put that pressure on. I did see him hit the barrier at the bus stop a couple times, but I think that might have been netcode. He seemed to carry on just fine afterwards, and yeah, obviously coming into the final lap, I had to keep pushing. I couldn't afford to leave anything on the table, and luckily the mistake I made didn't let Lewis, and they were able to hand on for P2. But yeah, just wondering what would have happened if I'd had respected the threat a bit more in T1 there.
Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, congratulations. Still a good run here. But yeah, you talked about that move down into turn 1. I guess with this car, we always talk about how difficult it is to pass, and that just makes people have to be really aggressive there in the first turn. Maybe they feel like that's their best opportunity to get out in front and make it difficult for you to get around them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the run, I was getting a really good runs through turn 1, get onto the back of JJ's bumper, and then the draft all the way through the S. As long as you can it's a very precise line to hold it flat through the S's in this car in race mode, but if you can do it, you can get a very good run. The problem is that JJ knew what I was doing. JJ knew I wanted the inside, and so coming through turn 3, that final right-hander, he just hold to the right. I did try around the outside one time, but I wasn't really. It was early in the race, so I was planning to back out of it and see if JJ made a mistake on the inside line. He held it just fine. And yeah, I didn't have the speed where I needed it to get past JJ here. He was very good in the back half of the lap. The heel of the boot through to the final corner. I kept messing up the final corner. But yeah, I mean, I was very much hoping for a repeat of last season here, where I just sit behind, bide my time, and then find a move on the final lap, but it wasn't to be. It's always difficult to make a move here, and especially it's JJ, he knows where to defend, and he's very consistent, so it's unlikely you'll find a mistake to give you a gap.
Well, it wasn't from a lack of trying. Watching you and JJ just haul the mail into the bus stop over and over and over again was mesmerizing. So thanks for the good TV as always. It's always great to get to talk to you. Shout outs for you here.
Yeah, absolutely. Ellis was racing, had a much better time than he did on Thursday, which is nice. Obviously, JJ for racing clean. I know we were only side by side once or twice, but every time I got given the space I needed. And a weird shout out here to funkygarage.ca, because my Twitter has been blowing up over the last 24 hours because I spotted a sticker in one of the GTD cars at Daytona. Tweet about it. Everyone obsessed with it. And then that car ended up winning the class. So
wow.
Yeah, I guess shout out to them if you want some stickers of anime girls. Go for it.
Incredible. Congrats on the podium here. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, see ya.
That's an awesome shout out. I did see that tweet this weekend. I thought it was awesome.
Oh man. Okay, we're gonna wait just a second for Lewis Emerton to. I think he's just joined the Discord server, probably just trying to get his bearings a little bit. But I guess we'll give you a second, Matt, to give us your thoughts about the race today.
Yeah, it was a great race. I mean, Watkins Glen, obviously a well-renowned racetrack all around the world, and has really given us some good stuff in multiple series, but we were really looking forward to it after the first edition of our PMR coverage, and did not disappoint today. I am pretty curious to get JJ's thoughts on the boot section of the track, how much more difficult that section the addition of that section is to this racetrack, because it seems like those corners for this car in particular probably aren't very nice for those tires. So interested to get his thoughts.
Yes, indeed. I see Lou's typing right now. He might be leaving us a message, and we'll see. But I guess while we've got a second, yep. Said he had a fun race today. Doesn't have the time to chat. So actually, we'll save the plugs here for just a minute. We'll talk to your race winner, JJ Wang. 4 out of the last 5. Had to work for it pretty hard today, but congrats on the victory.
Yeah, thanks so much. That was a tough one. I actually hate this track, so it's not it's not one of my better tracks, honestly. Like any layout, cup, a boot, whatever random thing that's not boot, but whatever. It's every single layout. I hate this one. So to get one on sort of Olivia's like home turf, I think this is like one of her favorite tracks. This was. It took a lot of work, and I'm thankful it kind of paid off today.
I mean, regardless of the track or the layout or what have you, I mean, today was just straight up defense for 12 laps. I mean, in this car where you talk about the temperature sensitivities and all the fine details of racing here for 20 minutes, you put in the added pressure from behind constantly for the entire race. That's got to make for a pretty fun, if not nerve-wracking experience for you.
Yeah, no, that's the longest 20 minutes of my entire life. Olivia and I were talking in the cool down room, and she mentioned, you know, she was just congratulating me, being a good sport about my improvement from Thursday. But really, Olivia improved a ton as well. On Thursday, I saw her dropping back more towards me, struggling with her tires. And today, I was hoping that in the second half, I could start pulling a gap. But Olivia managed her tires fantastically. I think that I haven't seen it, but that final lap mistake was probably just pushing. But yeah, no, she was on me. She wasn't giving me a break at all in terms of the tires. So, that was pretty much white knuckle racing all the way through.
Love to hear that. Matt, what do you got here?
Well, just congratulations on the win. I know that you mentioned the track and the layout. What different challenge when you introduce the boot onto this racetrack introduce? I know that Jeff said that you guys had a productive week. I'm assuming putting a lot of work in for this particular race. And I'm sure the boot introduces some extra challenges here.
No, absolutely. The boot is ironically my weakest part about this track on Thursday, and that's when all the guys at the shop and Jeff especially pulled me in and went, JJ, let's like look at these series of corners. And pretty much from Thursday all the way till now, we had a session where he just worked on my throttle and my braking, which I've never had to do a session that long before. I think fast bank corners with this car, ironically, seems to make this want to push more. I don't know what it is about those series of corners, but like it's just very difficult to just blow your entry, and then at that point you're scrubbing, you're rapidly slowing down. It's just a nightmare. And that's what I struggled with on Thursday. And I was still struggling with rotation all throughout those infield sections, but Jeff told me to crank the brake bias down to -5 and just hold on. And it turned out to be it's like faith in your engineers, like that Days of Thunder clip of like, I got you special tires. Jeff's like, crank it down to -5, JJ, and just trust me. And thank God I did trust him, because that turned out to be the trick to getting pretty much like the perfect run out of those exits of corners.
Well, good thing we don't have any high-speed, high-bank corners next week at the Charlotte Roval to worry about. But shout-outs for you here today.
Yeah, absolutely. This win is for Jeff. I was super sad on Thursday, super lost. Was barely hanging on to the podium on Thursday, and you know, without Jeff, I probably would still be there. I'd probably finish like lower in the top 10, because it seems like every time the pace is set on Thursday, we just go so much faster on Sunday. It's crazy. But You could tell from my voice, I'm almost like not even believing how good Jeff's improvement was for me for today. So this win is for him. I saw that there's a great race behind me with James Watson. I'd like to thank him for coming out. He matched his best finish. I think he's figuring this car out as well. Jeff is helping him as well, and you can see from both of us we're kind of like improving together. So that's hats off to the team. Really glad to put the tin can PMR in victory lane again. I have a decal in there for Dylan Thomas, thanking him for introducing me to this, for convincing me to get this car all the way back when, about I think a little bit more than a year ago. Great thanks for you guys on the broadcast, of course, and thanks for everybody else who came out to make this a really fun split, despite it starting right after the end of the Daytona 24.
Absolutely, partner. Congrats on the win. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week in Charlotte.
All right, thanks so much.
And indeed, Charlotte Roval next week, but we introduced the extra couple of loops in the infield section. The long Roval next week will make its debut on turn 200. Matt, who was hanging out with us here today?
Yeah, of course, Jeff was in the chat. Only one that was chatting here with us, but we had quite a few viewers here throughout the day, so shout out to everybody that watched here. It was a great race. Always is here with the PMR. Yeah, they never disappoint. So shout out to all the drivers that come out on Sundays for the broadcasted split. Very much appreciate them and anybody else that was watching. And don't forget, Saturday, that's going to be an incredible event. If you like this car, that's going to be a doozy, and it's going to be awesome.
Absolutely, yes. Everything happening between now and next Sunday at the Charlotte Roval. Of course, the Formula Super Series is back in action for the closing swing of the season tomorrow night at Mobility Resort Motegi. That's Twin Ring Motegi. For those of you who aren't with the times, we've officially changed the name in the sim to Mobility Resort Motegi. That'll be making its road course channel debut tomorrow night. Tuesday night with the Venom Truck Series, we keep up with the road course racing action. We are at Road America for the first time in series history. Wednesday night, the Daredevil Series will roll into Nashville Super Speedway, and Matt Williamson will be making his official points-paying series debut on that night as well. We'll also have an F1 sprint racing for that. So a lot of interesting stuff going on at Nashville Super Speedway with the Daredevil Series on Wednesday night. Then it is the special event on Saturday night, the Porsche Mission R Clash at the Coliseum, with NASCAR making its electric car show model debut. We are rolling out the electric cars in the sim at the LA Coliseum. To join that event, come and join our Discord server. We'll get you pointed in the right direction. Link to that is in the description of this video. And then we'll see you back here next Sunday afternoon for the Charlotte Roval here with the Mission R Challenge. Until we meet again, for everybody here with the Mission R community, for the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Wellington, I'm Tommy Cook. We're saying so long from Watkins, Glen, where JJ Wang wins a thriller at the Glen. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.